Hi, it's been a while. You've probably noticed about 3-ish changes. My hair is a bit more purple, I'm back in Brisbane in my home, and I got double jaw surgery. So firstly, I want to say yes, I have been away for a really long time. 2020 has been a bit of a whirlwind. I'm not sure about you, but it has been a lot. But now I am back to kind of tell you, update about my jaw surgery and stuff like that for those who are interested. So basically, if you didn't know, I am about 8 months post-op from my double jaw surgery. And what does that mean? It means that my top jaw was actually like kind of moved forward and down, and then my bottom jaw, the bone, was moved just a little bit to the side to make it nice and straight. And now my teeth match up and work and don't hurt, and it's great. It's great. So I used to have an underbite, which meant that my bottom jaw came out too far and my top teeth didn't match. And no matter what you would do with braces, it wouldn't have fixed it and it wouldn't have made it like functional. And I was finding I was having a lot of jaw pain. I wasn't eating properly, so I was having like digestion issues. For me, I didn't really care too much how I looked. Like at that point in my life, I had gone, cool, great, this is who I am, whatever, let's work with it, you know. And so it was important for me to remember that throughout this process, especially like planning to get the surgery and recovering afterwards, the main idea wasn't for cosmetic reasons. It was for function and health and making sure that my jaw and my teeth work properly without hurting. So that's a quick little rundown. There'll be more information in my previous videos when I talk a bit more about that. But today I want to just give you a little update of how I've been going, what the recovery process was like. I thought that I took a lot more videos than I did during my recovery process. Turns out I got about 2 or 3 weeks in of taking videos and updating and blah, blah, blah. And I just kind of stopped. Recovery was actually kind of tough, and 2020 as a whole was a bit of a dumpster fire in general. And so there were a lot of added extras and stresses, and I'm sure for everybody, but especially to get like double jaw surgery in the middle of a pandemic, going to a hospital, yeah, it's good. And I also had like a heap of uni work due as well, and I wanted to get back into working as soon as I could. And it sounds like I'm making a heap of excuses, but I feel like I'm just like preempting all the stuff I'm going to talk about. I live in Brisbane. This is my home now. I'm finally in my own apartment. But I actually went down to Hobart to get my double jaw surgery because that's where I'm from. That's where I booked it in. And then I just moved to Brisbane, thinking that I could just go fly back and forth to get it all done because I just wasn't going to wait to move anymore. But when old mate pandemic hit, I couldn't fly in and out as freely as I wanted to. So during the pandemic, there were a lot of borders, even between states in Australia, that were closed, and you couldn't travel to make sure you don't spread it and all this other stuff. Tasmania being a little island, it was actually really, really good at quarantining and virus control, but they like had really, really strict border restrictions. So I was planning to fly down maybe like in the start of April. My original surgery date was, I think it was the April the 11th or something great like that. And so I was planning to fly down then so I could get in, make sure I had enough time to quarantine, all that stuff. And then I hear on the news that they're closing the borders to Tasmania like the next day. And so I was like, ugh, it's like just the end of March now. I've got to fly out tomorrow. So I literally had to pack all of my bags. I think I went to work until the very last day. Like I was just like, yeah, I can just keep working. We were like, as a country, we were all going into lockdown. So I had to leave my partner in our apartment, not knowing what was going to happen with the pandemic. And I had to leave to Hobart. And so that was kind of tough. But yeah, so I had to go down to Hobart, and it was good because my family's down there. It was good to hang out with them, but it was really hard being away from my partner during that time. And it was like really weird because a lot of other people you see online, they're hanging out with their significant others like in quarantine, and I'm like, okay, so yeah, it made me a little sad. Anyway, so I got down to Tasmania, I settled in, I made sure to tell everybody that I was down there and trying to keep updated with what was happening with the hospitals. From what we were hearing up until that point, like everybody was going, yeah, you're not going to be getting like surgery anytime soon. And like for me, who's been waiting for it for a really long time, and it just meant so much to me to get it done. It was really harrowing. So it was like added stress. Oh, this sounds like I'm just like me, wah. But I just want to tell you what was going on anyway. And so I was looking out for when the date was. Everybody was saying things were gonna go full steam ahead. We'll figure it out, because of PPE levels and like activity within the hospital and wanting to keep everybody out of the hospital as much as they can. You know, surgeries that weren't emergency were kind of cancelled. My surgery was cancelled. It wasn't cancelled, it was postponed, but like, it felt the same. Because it was like postponed to who knows. When I was talking to my surgeon, he was like, you know, it could either be in a month or it could be Christmas. What do you want to do? And I'm like, So I'd packed bags the day before to go down to Hobart, and then I didn't know how long I was going to be in Hobart. I planned on being there maybe 2 months. We kind of just made do what we were doing down there, and eventually about, I think it was at the end of April, so my original surgery date is already passed, and I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. It was very like, in a time of uncertainty in general, like having my surgery postponed to a who knows date was like, I have zero control in any matter, and it was just like very anxiety inducing. But love your therapist. Did I just, I need to check my lipstick, I'm sorry. We love a therapist. But then amazing things happened. I got a call about the end of April to say that my surgery had a new date. It was so good. The receptionist on the other line, she's like, I want to cry for you because you've been waiting for so long. I'm like, rah. So the new date was like May the 13th. And yeah, and so I went in, and so that's kind of what you saw in the other videos of my like full-on time in the hospital. When my like parents saw that, they were really, really sad. They were like, oh my God, you look so sad, you look so sore. And I'm just like, I mean, like, yeah, but I was on a lot of painkillers. So like the physical pain was hardly even there. It was just like kind of annoying because I couldn't eat, and my face was a bit hot. But again, I've said all of that in the other vid. So going forward, kind of leaving where I left off from my other videos, I think it was about like, at about 2 weeks, I was feeling a little bit better, but it was still like a very emotional, like energy draining time. In those first few weeks, I could only concentrate on something for tops 20 minutes. Whether I was trying to even just like watch a movie or talk to someone, if there was any information going in and coming out of my my brain, 20 minutes tops, and then I had to like have a nap. I was literally like a newborn baby. It was eye-opening for me as well, because I like to be really high energy when I want to, and I want to like get work done. I'm a Capricorn. It was really hard to like see myself not performing at like full function. It was really hard to not like do everything 100% and do all the things that I want to do and get all my work done and you know, beat my face and so there was a little bit of like, I was determined to keep pushing through my recovery, which in a way it was good and it was bad. So energy wise, it was like really emotionally bad, and me pushing so far, it kind of, it set my, when I talk about energy, I mean like mood, right? So it kind of set my mood really on like different wavelengths, rather than something nice and steady that I'm kind of like, you know, trying to hold together. And so my mood would go up and down out of just the energy bursts that I had. But kind of pushing it, not necessarily with energy, but like physically, I used my jade roller. Hello, old friend. I saw a thing saying that it has pores and it's kind of bad for your face, but like, It was there for me. It was there for me. Physically, I intended to kind of push my face. Yes, there were like some little bits that hurt a little bit, but it was only because it was mostly the top lip, where the incision was, that was just kind of dry because you can't really move anything around your mouth because everything's numb. So that was the only thing that like hurt, right? Everything else I just couldn't do. Like if I tried to bite down or something, it didn't hurt, I just couldn't bite down. Or I couldn't, if I put like solid food in my mouth, I couldn't feel where the food was. You don't know how much your cheeks, the inside of your, that could go badly. You don't realize how much you feel inside your mouth until it's all numb and you're trying to eat something and you're like, yeah, my teeth could totally do it, but I don't know where this bit of pasta is. Like, where is she? But it was about I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks. Seriously, it's a bit of a blur. I've got a bit more of an idea about it on my Instagram if you want to check that out. I was kind of documenting things as they happened. That can kind of give you a bit more of a specific idea of where I was and what I looked like at each day. But I found as soon as I started eating solid food, and I say solid food, I mean like scrambled eggs, mashed potato, I even had a kimchi pancake. Like I couldn't chew it, but it was just like, you just baby bird it down, you know. As soon as I started eating solid food, it's nearly like my body was like, yes, finally, some energy, something that I can do, because like the next day I felt so much better. So regarding food, like yes, you need to make sure that you're eating enough because your body is working so hard to heal and you're physically going through like trauma. Like your body needs time to like know what's going on. So you need to eat. So I found, you know, drinking soups and smoothies from like a condiment bottle, like that you can just buy at like Kmart or something. So I found that really, really helpful to make sure that I was eating, because you don't really feel that hungry because you're just feeling really, really tired. But I had to make sure that I at least had like a bottle of water and like a bottle of soup or something, and you just kind of kept it there until you finished it. Maybe you warmed it up if you had left it, but you just gotta get through it. But as soon as you can eat solid food, potato gems, so like tater tots, whatever you call them, with just like a heap of tomato sauce on there. Oh, so good. They were there. So I'm a singing teacher, and I actually started teaching back online about 3 or 4 weeks after my surgery. Everything was still a little bit swollen, and I definitely wasn't working as well as I am now. But it was, for me, again, like inside my brain, I'm like, I've got to do better than everyone else. And honestly, like showing my students me not at my peak, I think is actually kind of important. I don't know, I could go into an educational spiel about how it's important to have empathy. But yeah, as a singer, it was really interesting feeling all of my muscles and all of my like face things regain feeling, nearly like they're like one at a time. I was basically trying to do my own physical therapy because I've trained in singing. I kind of know how this area works. So I could kind of make sure I was moving my face. If I felt some numbness, I would scrunch my face up, try and do like lips like I'm sucking a straw, like that. Because it's this, like all the muscles, they're like numb, because if they weren't numb, you'd feel them while they were chopping it. I don't know. So using this to kind of stimulate my muscles and generally like talking and noticing what was happening when I was talking. It's very still method, any of you singing nerds out there. There was a point where actually I had like the rubber bands on, and I found myself talking in a really stiff way when I didn't need to. I was talking like this because I just didn't really want to move my teeth. And you could probably see that in the other videos as well, but I literally was just like, I don't have to talk like that. And so I told my sister, I was like, if you see me talking like this, tell me to stop, because I don't want to get like I don't want to get a stiff jaw. I don't want that to turn into habit, and I want to make sure that I'm talking correctly so I can, you know, basically heal as quick as I can. So that really, really helped to kind of analyze what you're doing with your face and how you're using it and what you sound like. Even looking in a mirror, I found like there was one lip that was just not, there was one lip that was like still numb, one side of the lip, and it kind of slanted down. And so when I was talking and teaching or whatever, I would make sure that I'm moving my lips as symmetrically as I could. And look, nothing's ever perfect. Nobody's face is ever symmetrical. But I think it's important to kind of analyze what you want and kind of focus mind-body connection. Anyway, I'm nerding out right now. You've probably been staring at me this entire time going, oh my God, her face has changed. Yes, it has. It has like kind of a lot, but kind of not. What's interesting now is I look at myself now, I'm like, yeah, that's me. And I look at pictures of me before the surgery and I go, whoa. There was nothing wrong with my face before surgery, but it's just like, I'm so used to and like so happy with the way that this is now. I look at that before, I'm like, whoa, that's not me. And the thing is, I know that I was a little self-conscious, especially when the underbite got really exaggerated from the braces. Like, I'm so much happier now and I feel so much more like me. And I don't know whether that comes across because, you know, people put camera stuff on, but I feel like in general, I'm just so much more confident. I feel now that I have my jaw surgery done, I smile with my teeth a whole lot more. It's really weird to feel my top teeth on my bottom lip properly like that. It's so strange. Or when I see photos, I'm like, you know, I can see more teeth and it's really exciting and I really enjoy it. So I'll take you through kind of what I look like now. I've got makeup on today. In my videos, of course, I don't have makeup on because I'm like, just like 2 minutes out of bed going, oh, hey guys, I'm sick. But let me take my glasses off. So, obviously the major thing that has changed about me is where my teeth are. So this is what my teeth look like. This is me just doing like a we're such good friends smile. And this is me doing my really cheesy grin. And this is just relaxed, I suppose. So my top jaw has come forward and down a little bit to make my teeth look like they're there. And with that, my nose actually has gone up a little bit. And it's like kind of, it's not exactly symmetrical, which I don't really care about. But when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God. But like, it's like, who cares? Like, but my nose has gone up a little bit, so it's not as like downward. Because if you think about it, like the base underneath it has gone up. So the rest of it's gonna go, you know, up and out. So I'll give you a look at that. There's my nose. And the other side. Oh yeah. So after all the surgery had happened, I basically had to wait in Tasmania until I got my braces off because I couldn't go back and forth and I had to keep my braces on and just like do the last minute adjustments to make sure everything was in place and working. And so I like couldn't really leave until I got my braces off. And so I spent about 6 months down. I spent about 6 months down in Hobart, away from my partner, away from my home. It was a lot. Thank you for everybody who looked after me down there. Oh my goodness, I could not have done it without a lot of help. That's another thing. Get as much help as you can and accept as much help as you can. Because when you are like 3 days out of surgery, you don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to do anything. All you want to do is lie in bed, watch some like Fleur de Force in her beautiful house with her beautiful child, and then nap. And the thing is, you gotta eat. You gotta eat. You can't not eat and you can't not drink. And you need somebody to make sure that that happens. So that's my, like one of the biggest pieces of advice. Like no matter what you have, no matter how many pillows you have, or how much swelling you have, or ice packs, get somebody to help you. Really important. I have a complex that I don't like accepting help, and I think some people are like that as well. Therapy. So this was a really interesting experience in accepting help and being okay to be a little helpless of myself. I like to be really independent, but this was really tough. Accept help. So I got my braces off, and you know what though? After I got my braces off, I wasn't like 100% happy with my teeth. I was like, what if maybe if I kept my braces on for a little bit longer, that would be even more perfect. I don't want to feel like I'm taking the braces off. I don't want to feel like I'm rushing and then all this work is for nothing. I swiftly got over that. Turns out, so my teeth actually have changed a little bit since I got my braces off. I do have like a wire at the back of my teeth just to hold everything in place, and I have like retainers that I wear during bed, sleep, that I wear at night, or just generally throughout the day if my teeth are clean and I'm not eating anything for a while. I just chuck them on because why not? But the thing is, some teeth that I was just like, oh, they aren't perfect. There's a tiny gap here. They actually settled. They settled into the right spot. And I feel really happy that I just kind of went with the flow. And the thing is, even if you do get your braces off and you're not happy, you can always change it. You can always go back and go. All of my teeth were just finally like, we're free. And they all just settled where they need to be. In general, because I had so much work done on my teeth anyway, like a tooth that's slightly out of line, but then also you did a lot of work to get it all like perfect, so you want it perfect. So it's just like, you figure it out. You'll be fine. You trust your intuition. So I want to do a Q&A. So if you do have any questions, queries, or like specific things you want to know about my experience, please leave them down in the comments below. Or you can just message me on Instagram and I will answer them there. Thank you so much for being so patient for this next video. I know like I was just like, oh yeah, I'll do one every week. It doesn't happen like that. And sometimes life happens, but we just gotta get back on the horse. Guys, I'm an inspirational speaker. Book me for your next event. This was a little bit of a tangent video, but I think that's just kind of what it is. It is what it is. It's kind of like just having a chat with you. I'm happy to have a chat. There will be so many things that I didn't even touch on in this video. So if you are curious, please ask me, go ahead. I look forward to answering them and look forward to giving you my experience. If you like my content and you forgive me from not posting for a really long time, please give me a subscribe and like and whatever, and watch my other videos and blah. Now that uni's over, I want to focus a little bit more on this. Now that my brain isn't like stressed out to the max from everything. And I look forward to making some more stuff and creating for you and just generally being a bit more present. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Wow, I am an inspirational speaker. Guys, thanks guys, bye-bye.